have kids, you have to think about all the things that you're instilling in them. All the things that were instilled in you will be likely instilled in them unless you did your research, like you said, and change your perspective on things. So I was helping my friend move last weekend, and somebody from like her old neighbor or something, her old neighbor's son, he's black, was helping us move, which was irrelevant until her son said something about, because the kid was like, oh, how about we do it like this? And her son said, oh, just leave it to the black guy to make all the decisions. And I'm just like, that's exactly what I thought of. How you talk at home, how you talk in front of your child, that's the reason why he said that. He thought it was okay.
Right. He didn't see an issue with it.
He didn't see an issue with it. And that's something you had to think about. Like, do you really want to instill that hate into your children? Because we're just spreading it. It's generational. Just like the talking about the trauma from like slavery and stuff has been carried down like genetically.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with racism.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. And we're carrying it out throughout the
Everyone's
words.
like, get over it. It's in the past.
It's not in the past. It just doesn't look like the past because we're all about what's in front of us, what's in front of our eyes, that we don't see what's like right beneath the surface.
Right.
It comes out in your words. It doesn't matter if you're nice to your neighbor because he's black. It doesn't matter if you have a black friend. It doesn't matter if you have an Asian or whatever the fuck. It doesn't matter. Your slander speaks so many volumes. The way you talk around all white people speaks volumes.
Yeah. Oh, damn.
If you have to switch up your vocabulary to hang out with a minority, or to be around a minority, or to be around one of them, think about it. Be more conscious of your fucking words and your thoughts, because those words and thoughts carry out into actions and examples for younger generations. So yeah, thank God they didn't have kids, right?
Exactly. Thank God they didn't have kids.
So her husband's mind changed too?
Yeah, they're both like, we were fucking dumb. Like,
so they thought, they were both gung-ho, this is stupid bullshit, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, fuck that shit, all lives matter. They were just like that?
Yep.
Did they move from home or something?
No. They're from out here. But they watched the 13th on Netflix, and that put a lot of things into perspective for them. And then I guess they just start doing all their other research. Like, I can't believe this is our history. I can't believe that's your history. Because, you know, what we're taught in school isn't necessarily all
that's a portion.
History. Yeah.
It's a portion, and it's candy coated how they want you to
hella
learn it.
sugar coated. So, and then I had another client crying on the table too. And she said, like, she's been attending a lot of the BLM protests and things like that. And she's like, they're so informative. And she's like, you just learn so many things that you didn't know about. And she's just like crying. She's like, I had no idea the things that you guys were going through, the things that your people was going through. And I'm like, well, I mean, I get it because it wasn't your reality. You weren't affected directly by it. Like, you didn't know anyone that was going through it. So just like with COVID, a lot of people, they don't believe it because they don't know anyone that's had it. Right. They don't think that, you know what I mean? So people tend to be like that. If it's not in your direct atmosphere, you know, you're not fazed by it. So she's like, just being around all this stuff, and she's like, I can't believe I've been blind to so much for so long. And we were saying, like, she's like, I don't see how everyone doesn't see this stuff, like how everyone can just keep turning a blind eye. And my thing is, once you are aware, now you have to be accountable, you know, because ignorance is truly bliss.
Yes, in every aspect whatsoever.
Sure.
Once your eyes are open to something, you cannot turn that off. You cannot turn that sight off for nothing. Yeah. So and if you try, you're just as bad as the rest of them.
You're just as bad as the rest of them. So now once you're aware and you see it, you can't just ignore it like in clear conscience. Now it's gonna fuck with you. So a lot of people, they don't want to tap in. They don't want that awakening. They don't want to. So that it's easier for them to just, all lives matter. Like, like, listen to what we're saying. We're not saying that all lives don't matter, because they definitely do.
They're saying that our life matters too.
Yes, like as well.
Yeah.
We're included in that all, so can you kind of act like it?
Yeah, right. Can you act right? Like, we're not your fucking slaves like still? We all had that mentality, though. Yeah. And there's just, I mean, there's things that, like, I grew up with that just weren't fucking funny, that I never even realized, that I just accepted as whatever.
Yeah.
because that's what I was around. But I was also around black people too. Like, I grew up in the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, talking to my cousin, I actually confessed like a lot of things that I experienced when I was younger that I didn't feel I didn't have the adequate atmosphere, the adequate support to speak up and be like, it's kind of fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, I had no idea. She's like, you never said nothing to me. I'm like, what was I gonna say? I felt like I was ratting my people out, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to be like, hey, so white people are racist as fuck.
We already know that.
Here's my story.
Everybody's probably low-key racist. High-key.
Oh, I did a little video on it too. Well, it was on Anchor because I turned it to whatever. But talking about how there is racism in every community. Like, even in, like, the Mexicans look at black people funny.
Yeah.
And
black people look at black people funny.
Right. Everybody looks at everybody funny. Stereotypes exist for a reason. There's some stereotypes that are actually like, okay, I get it. You know, like, I get it. But there's a lot of ones that just aren't, they don't call for slandering people.
Right.
The slander ones are not.
None of those stereotypes are enough to like kill somebody. Like,
right. It's not that deep. If you're a comedian, you're trying to crack a joke, that's funny. But crack the joke in front of everybody so we can all laugh. Bust everybody's balls equally.
That's why I give props to Dave Chappelle for sure. Ain't nobody safe with him.
He's funny as, oh my gosh, he's funny as what?
I had a conversation with an Asian Lyft driver and we was pretty much talking about everything, and I'm just like, you know, if it wasn't race, it would be something else.
It would be, because people always got to be in conflict.
People are going to always find a way to feel superior.
Yes. Do you think that's an animalistic, what the fuck is that?
I would say yeah. Because, like, they're always going to want to dominate or something, you know what I mean? People have the need for power. I feel like my sister and I was talking about this in the terms of, like, success. But in all situations, I feel like people feel like there's, like, this finite amount of whatever the fuck. Let's just say success that exists in the world or universe. And if you get some, then that means that it's less for them.
That's so fucked up. That's just like the hating on a female because she's pretty.
Right.
That don't mean that you ain't pretty.
Right.
That just means she's pretty too.
Yeah.
We could all be pretty together.
But they're like, well, no, because she's pretty, so that makes me less pretty.
Yeah.
Like,
so fuck that bitch.
There's enough pretty for everybody. There's not like a little amount of pretty, and like she's sucking it all.
There's not a little amount of success.
She's taking up all the pretty.
This bitch just walked through and stole it all. Like, no, just be yourself. If you just be your original self, it's cool. Just do what you do. It'll work for you. I promise it'll work for you. But all these years of fronting, I promise you. I can tell you by experience. Just be yourself. It'll fucking work. But the success thing, that's just so crazy, and that's so true. Because it's always a competition. But it's kind of structured that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't trust nobody really in the workplace a lot of the time, because are they going to rat you out to your boss behind your back because that one day that you took an extra long break or something and didn't code it? Like, what's going to happen? Just to get that promotion?
And that's what I've been saying about, like, all the stuff that's going on in my job. Like, I get he's trying to use me as motivation for the other girls, but at the same time, I'm like, you gotta chill.
Yeah, because you're going to have these bitches out to cut me.
Exactly.
These bitches are going to cut. Not only am I black.
Exactly. Not
but
only
I'm out here killing it, and I just got here.
Exactly. And I just outdid the top.
That's
like,
how it's
top
always
dogs
been.
in the company that's been there for years.
But when you're a hustler, though, it's hard to not stand out, because so many people, they have that mentality that you go to work, you do the minimum, and like, I get that, you know, if it like FedEx, you know, do the minimum, get out. You don't got to do anything extra. But if you do what you do good, there could be perks to that. You can have other opportunities that aren't extra work, that are actually a higher paid position, you know, for less or whatever, you know what I mean? So like, you can use that to your benefit. You don't have to be a shitty worker or, you know, doing way less than you're capable of with everybody knowing it.
I agree. But my thing is, you know, I don't hustle to stand out. The reason I went so hard recently is because, number one, I felt more supported. They poured more into me, and I realized that.
And you took it. It was a blessing, right?
Well, yeah, but I realized also that I make more money off memberships than intros, like Groupons and promos. So it's like, why wouldn't I want a book full of memberships versus having a book full of intros?
Exactly, and you're out for yourself, and that makes sense. Just because you're hip to it, now you're gonna be hated on. I can already see it, but
I haven't seen, no one said it to my face yet, but they all, everyone's being nice and supportive about it right now. But it's like, keep my eyes on motherfuckers
behind your back.
Yeah, ain't no telling. And he's like, raise doubled her income. I'm like, hey, chill the fuck out on my
don't single me out. Just saying, you could be generic about it and be like, so we had one that stood out, and I'm just so proud of them. And then talk to you a little key.
You want to tell everybody that my income doubled, this and that. I'd be like, yeah, good job, everybody. That's me, because we won as a salon. Like, yes, I have the top MCR, but we won together. So.
And that's so you, and that's great. And I mean, fuck a hater too, for real, but it is. I don't like that recognition either, because like that's just how I am. That's how I am a worker. It's how you are as a worker.
Mm-hmm.
You're a hustler.
I just like to chill and mind my business.
Right.
I'm not doing this for.
I'm not doing this to get an award.
Like, they've been suspiciously nice to me. Like,
oh no, fuck that.
So I don't know if this is your BLM give back or what. You know what I mean? Like, one of the managers, the most tough managers that everyone hates, she reaches out to me like, I want to have a monthly meeting with you to make sure that you feel happy and heard.
Oh god.
And I'm like,
they're making accommodations for your people.
Is that what I'm like, is everyone having these monthly meetings? Like, are you hearing everybody?
Why is that fly staring at you though?
I don't know. He was over here and then he was over there.
I feel targeted.
I don't know. Fuck that guy. But yeah.
That is crazy though.
I've just had so many women, like, they're on my table and they just, oh yeah, so I was saying about the kids or whatever. So having kids, and she's just like, well, even though it's a good time, we have everything set in motion, I don't want to pay for the little jokers, I'm like, I get that, they're expensive. So I just started talking about my piece, because she's like, well, do you have kids? And I'm like, no, I want children, but honestly, it scares the shit out of me to push a little black man out into this world right now. What's scarier right now? Like, I had a dream about that. I birthed the same child in my dreams over and over. Same little boy all the time.
Oh my gosh.
He's so cute. He's like a little darker than me. He has straight hair, big old cheeks. So cute. So anyway, I push him out, and this time it's like I broke down. It was like, no, like, don't. Right now, it's not a good
atmosphere.
It's not a good place for you, And that shit broke my heart, because it's like, damn, like, if I was trying right now, it's not a good time. It's not a good place for him. And she started crying over that. She was like, I don't want to have a kid because of selfish reasons. She's like, you're afraid to have a kid because you don't want him to get shot down in the street. I'm like, exactly. She's like, just the things that you have to take into consideration before you do anything that I would never even dream of,
What would be like, because I have a friend who, she's mixed, but she grew up like me, and she has a different perspective on that, because we had a discussion with my cousin about all this, about, I'm like, dude, if you had a kid, it would likely, you're dark, it would likely, he would be black or she'd be black, you know what I mean, like, considered black, whereas my son, no, but you're dark, you actually have the pigment, I'm like, what would you do? Like, how, if you had a son, like, what would you do? Like, would you be afraid? She's like, no, I don't feel like it's that big of a deal. So she doesn't get it. So, like, what would be your, I guess, advice for somebody, maybe like a white woman, because there's so many white women out here having these little black babies, right? What would be your advice to them to approach situations like that, or to be prepared for?
Well,
to be really conscious of.
I would say, like, don't be like me as far as living in fear, because that ain't the way to be. And if your child is supposed to be a part of this revolution, they're supposed to be a part of this revolution.
Right.
But I guess I would just say to educate yourself as much as possible on everything. For one, try to make sure that you have like a positive and a knowledgeable black male and female, like, influence, person that knows what's going on, someone that you can look to, because there's going to be a lot of things that your kid goes through that you can't relate to, and you don't know how to tell them how to handle it. everything, you can't just roll off their back and just keep going, you know? So I would just educate myself on like everything. Think of, I don't know, all the possibilities, like, so that you prepared for when things happen. Like if somebody calls your child the N-word or a monkey, you know, you need to think in advance of how you can handle that. You can't just say, well, you tell them, you know, that that's not nice. Like you can't just, you know, that's not gonna do anything. So
that's a question too. Like, are these people prepared for that? Or even white men with like a black woman having mixed children. Is anybody prepared for that? I had like one of the first black guys that I dated. He had asked me, and it never resonated with me, and I was thinking about this a couple weeks ago. It never resonated with me what he had asked me fucking like 7-8 years ago until recently. He asked, he's like, are you ready for this? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, are you ready for this? Like, I'm black. Are you ready for this? I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, who cares, you know? He was like, okay. And like his okay, I thought about it for some reason, and I'm like, I get what he's saying. I understand. I understand. So I've been really conscious about, like, you know, that dude, Rob, that we hung out with, super cool cancer dude, a couple months ago.
Oh, tall dude. Yeah,
tall dude. He, like, we're talking about riding our bikes and stuff at nighttime, and I was like, should we do that?
Right.
Are you sure?
Right.
You know you're black, right? And I'm like, I'm worried about that. And I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I've never thought about that.
It's a real thing, just a simple thing. Like, you see a white guy walking on the street with no shirt versus a black guy walking on the street with no shirt. Which one are you more afraid of?
Right. Where does that fear come from?
Yeah,
like, can we think about that? Can we think about that?
But my sister's job made them do like an evaluation test on that, like doctors and stuff. Because people, they had like an underlying racist type, you know.
Yeah, which is so true.
They didn't realize.
Yes, and that's the thing. You can say, okay, so you walk up to somebody and you say, so are you racist? They say, no.
Right.
Gosh, no.
Right.
But when you really put them to the test, it's subjective.
Yeah.
Perceptions of something are subjective to everybody. So if you say, what's racist? Okay, so this person might think racism is, you know, under the categories of burning crosses in somebody's front yard type shit. If they don't do that, they're like, no, I'm not fucking racist. I don't do that. And another person might be like, oh yeah, calling people a nigger and all this stuff. Like, it's funny.
Yeah.
I don't do that. But what is your reaction?
Or even something as simple as you're sitting in your car, white lady might walk past, white man, they might walk past, you don't think nothing of it. Black guy walk past your car, you go lock the doors.
Yeah, right.
Like off top, you're just like, now you're just so
gotta be safe.
Yeah.
Can't trust anybody around here. But were you thinking that 5 minutes ago when that one lady just walked past your car? No, you weren't. You were not. You were absolutely not. You have to expose yourself to a lot of things to really understand. You got to get away from your family. Because as good-hearted as they may be, their ideals are being beat into you. They have been all your life. And it might not be the best ones. You're not going to realize that if you're going to stay around it.
And I feel like that, this fly is crazy. I feel like that's what a lot of the women that I was telling you about have been experiencing just talking to me, because like I said, they most likely never sat down and had an actual conversation with the person of color.
Right.
For real. You know, not to this degree.
Right.
Or not about these things. So I feel like actually sitting down and talking and seeing like, wow, they are real people. They have real feelings. Some of them are even profound. Wow, you know, like, she's black, she's not a thug, she's not scary, she even has dreadlocks, you know, she's sweet, she's gentle, person. She's not hurting me, you know what I mean? It's like, wow. So I think it's changing their perspective.
You can't judge a book by its cover. How many times in our life have we heard that? How many times? We can say it, we can preach it all we want, but does it apply to everything?
No.
Not in many people. And that's so crazy. I just got scared. No, just playing.
Word. I just got it.
Look at his legs, though. Look at his legs.
Where we going?
Look how nice. He's thick.
Hey.
He's short, but he is thick.
Wow.
Look at those legs, though. He's got a beautiful complexion.
He does. I wonder if he has
I can tell with his mask on.
Right, I want to see if he has a beautiful smile. I just want to see. I don't want to touch it. Can he help me?
Can I touch it?
Oh, he eats movies. Oh.
I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna be like, can I see your smile?
He vegan.
I'm gonna do that for you. You say he's vegan?
Oh, he's vegan.
She's making shit up right now.
He don't even taste like battery acid. Show fine ass. Look at the way.
Can I see your smile? We think that you have a nice smile. I want to see if you have a nice smile. Oh, he does!
Yo, he's gorgeous. That's crazy.
You're welcome.
I knew he had a bomb ass smile.
Oh,
he's
he's cute.
beautiful. What a beautiful man.
I want to see his parents.
Where your people at?
Imagine you're like 50 and look your age. Look at his beautiful ass complexion.
You see the wave spinning?
Oh,
His hair was great. He
beautiful.
was a beautiful man. He was so nice.
Thank you, Lord Jesus.
Thank you,
Father God,
Thank
for
you
blessing
that
us with such beautiful
That
people.
was so dope. Wow. I knew it.
Wow. That was amazing. Like little Nikki.
For real, though.
Popeye's chicken, his smile was the shit.
That's what he should be
His
saying.
smile. He got a nice smile. It was a shit.
I'd be like, where the hell are they from?
Smile on fleek.
He know we ain't from here.
Oh, he was pissed.
He
With
was
a capital T.
Yeah.
Ooh. Lord have mercy.
But yeah, so my job, what I did appreciate about them was like when all this started going down, like the day after the whole George Floyd thing and everything popped off, I was going through it, you know? And I'm like, how am I going to go to work and not wear this on my sleeve? You know what I mean? Because it's like, I'm in a mood right now. I'm not, you know, like, I'm experiencing some shit, and I'm here where I'm going to this job where no one
Can relate.
can't relate. I'm like, I can't identify with nobody in this bitch for real. So that's why I feel like working at the barbershop is so vital for me. Like just having that day to be around my people and just submerged in the
And
culture.
talk about what's going on.
Talk about what's going on.
Relate to it.
Submerged in the culture in general, our music, the things that we get, the things that I can say that they don't understand at the other place that I'm at.
That's what, like, with like music is a huge driving force for emotion and promoting history and things that are happening, like Kendrick Lamar especially.
Yeah.
Like when little white boy from Westlake's bumping that shit,
You like,
and I'm like,
shut up.
that's a good song, but do you get it?
Yeah, like
Do I even get it?
Right.
Do you get it? If I'm questioning if I even get it, do you get it?
Right.
Would you date a black woman? Do you have any black friends? Yeah, we have that one dude on our football team who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you get it? And I'm not just saying like fuck white people,
Right.
but like seriously, think about what you're doing. Think about everything. If they just listen to the lyrics and actually like empathize, I guess.
Yeah,
You
like
could- you
really
could-
break down and feel what he's saying.
Yeah,
Which he might have done.
maybe.
He
All of
might
them?
have.
No.
Or he might just
Maybe.
He might just be
Pardon
feeling
me.
it. Oh, sorry. I'm sitting here sweating on the charger.
Oh, thank you, girl. Thank you. I got your
Yes.
DNA.
Mhm. But that's kind of what with the CEO of the company. She's like, I appreciate that she made it a safe space to talk about it. Like I didn't even have to bring it up. You know, she did. We were just having like a team meeting on different things because I'm head of cleaning and compliance and things like that. And the inventory. We were just doing some shit in the
all that
room.
responsibility.
No, not all of them. Like we were in a meeting with all the
Oh,
people. I
okay.
just did cleaning and compliance, but we had one with like the inventory person and someone else that does other things. So anyway, but I feel like she opened that window for me to like get that off my chest, like the way I was feeling. Because she's like it ain't no way you not feeling affected by this, you know. And I know you're in a place where you feel like you're by yourself.
That's
You
so
know?
true.
And she was just like, she pretty much gave me an example. She's like, well, you know, she's like, I'm white. I went to a high school in Virginia and I was like one of the only white people there. She's like, did I get discriminated against? Yes. Like, did I experience the, you know, racism and things? She's like, I did. She's like, do I understand what it's like to be black? No. But I do know what it's like to not feel accepted and to feel attacked and to go through things that are unfair. So she's like, I don't want you to feel like you can't breathe here.
You don't
know
have
what I
an
mean?
outlet. You don't have somebody who has your
Yeah.
back. I get that. That's really
Yeah.
nice though. That like
That
it made
she
you
used
feel
me.
like that.
Yeah, I was.
Because that's your
like,
employer. That's a big thing.
I'm
You're there
like,
most of the time.
I am. I'm there more than I'm at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I just appreciated that she even, you know,
Acknowledged it.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people, especially with All Lives Matter, would have been like, shut your ass up and go to work. Because I was really contemplating, like, how am I about to go in here? Like, I don't want it to affect my work. I don't want to go in there with I don't like touching people with a funky ass attitude. I don't.
Because that's energy transfer.
Yeah. But she put me in a better place where I was a little more at least.
God put her in your life for that reason, girl. He's like, I'm not about to have you spreading this spiritual STD all over the place because you're already touching vaginas all day.
I know.
You can't be spreading negativity up in some bitch's vagina.
Right.
Okay.
You're not about to put these vibes in them, so.
Going home feeling some type of way.
I know.
And her husband's like, what the fuck?
Right. What's wrong with you?
All lives don't matter, Ken. I don't know where the fuck Ken came from.
You and
names
these
are
names.
Ken. What's my favorite? Chad.
I guess so.
Chad.
I think that's the new thing now too.
Chad?
The boy version of Karen.
It's Chad.
Yeah, Karen's husband is Chad.
I tried to crack a Karen joke. So I was with my Mexican friend at his sister's house, and I'm like, something about Karen, and his sister's name is Karen. She's Mexican. I was like, man, you ruined it. You ruined the joke. And she's like, what? I don't get it. I'm like, oh, no,
Karen too.
Damn.
Oh, no.
Catherine. There's an Auntie Catherine somewhere too.
Somewhere.
And there's an Auntie Samantha who makes good mac and cheese. I'm just not the one. I'm not the one.
That's what I should have made today.
But I gotta be the one day.
To make good mac and cheese?
Yeah.
I imagine that you already do.
If I try, but I ain't got nobody to cook for now. I need to open up that soup kitchen or whatever the hell you were talking about. I'm like, who am I gonna cook for? You're like, fuck that. If you want crazy people to cook for, yeah.
Hell yeah. I agree
with myself. Cook for some crazy people.
It's hella niggas out there rocker that'll be up at that kitchen.
You want some auntie mac and cheese? I learned how to make it yesterday and I'm really excited about it.
Auntie or auntie? Which one you want? I don't even understand why they trying to fuck with you. Don't fuck with my Pokemon. Flareon. Flame this guy. Flame this guy.